Hello guys, Alex here. You know, I'm a great fan of CounterStrike. I really enjoy playing the game, despite the current state of it. But do you know what I also like? Tinkering and building stuff. So why not combine these two things and create a cool prop? I found some videos of people who tried the same, but it was always too far away from the original for me. I wanted to be as close to the original as possible. Okay, maybe not that close, but I think you get the point. Actually, Starlight did a great job. The prop looks really good, and with her help I can finally read the text on these labels. Nonetheless, the proportions look a bit off and there is no functionality. No beeps, no blinks, no boom. That's something I want to add. Okay, I just learned it's illegal to build real explosives, so that feature won't get into the project. But what's about the other ones? Which components do we even need? Some of them we can see at first glance. An LCD, a keypad, a switch, a yellow LED. Then we need a red LED and a buzzer for the countdown. But because the buzzer can only do and not bomb has been planted, or we need an additional speaker in the sound module. And last but not least, we need a microcontroller to handle the logic. I have some Arduino Nanos lying around, so I use these. They are small and the processor is fully sufficient for this task. Alright, let's do this. First I built the base, these 3 boxes. I took the keypad for scale and designed a template. I printed the templates, glued them to some cardboard and cut it along the lines. Then I just folded and glued them together. Later I used some packing paper, which I glued to these boxes, so that it looked more realistically. Then I printed the labels and ripped them a bit, so that it looks more like in the game. For the mainboard I took some old PCB I had lying around, which I cut to the right size of 6 cm in width and around 10 cm in height. Then I desoldered everything that was still on the board and gave it a good clean. Next I took the connectors and removed this colored housing. Then I soldered some cables in yellow, black and red to them. Then I used some shrink tube to seal it all up and stick the plugs into the cardboard boxes. Next I took an old 9-volt battery, which was completely dead. I took the battery completely apart, filled it with some tissues and sealed it back up. This is not really necessary, because it won't be touching anything conductive. But I wanted to be 100% sure nothing shorts out, and I also wanted to reduce some weight. I used a black marker and colored the whole battery. Then I scraped the color a bit off so that it gets this used look. Next I 3D printed this case for the switch because mine was bare. I wanted to buy this keypad with the white keycaps, but I couldn't find them anywhere, so I just bought the keypad with the black buttons. Then I took it apart, spray painted the keys and glued some labels to them. Now it looks like the keypad in the game. I drilled some holes into the PCB so that the components would stick better, and also because I needed to connect the yellow LED to the Arduino on the backside. I scraped the PCB here so that I don't short out the LED or the Arduino. In the end I stick the components through the holes and glued them with superglue. These JST connectors looked a bit different than in the game, so I cut a bit off and glued them to the board too. So that's the mainboard now, but we won't use any of it, except for the yellow LED. I used some double-sided tape to hold the cardboard boxes together, and then I cut some holes into them, so that I can hide the electronics inside. I drilled a hole here, so that I can pull all the cables through. I designed a PCB to connect everything and soldered all the connections. This is another PCB than you see in the other parts of this video. I had to redo it, because it was faulty. To be able to program the Arduino in the inside, I wired this USB-C port to it. To keep everything together, I used some hot glue. Here I used some hot glue to stick the switch with the housing and the battery to the left side. If I'd used the side switch as a power switch, it would take too much time to boot everything up and play that sound. So I used it as a toggle that I can use in the code and added an extra power button, which I can hide underneath the duct tape later. With the help of some styrofoam, I held the power button in place. Now some duct tape to hold the mainboard in place. Actually, duct tape is too wide, so I had to cut it in 2 pieces. These cables aren't actually connected to anything, so we can just superglue them here. Only these 8 pin connectors are left, which I hot glued to the mainboard. Sometimes you can't upload code to the Arduino when there are components hooked up to it, so I removed the USB-C connector and added a 6-pin header to the bottom, which is connected to the ISP header of the Arduino, so it should be possible to program it even with peripherals attached. I really should have written the code first before building the prop. Now only the functionality is missing. No, I mean the code, no explosives here. Well, I wrote the code all by myself. It was super easy and no hassle at all.
Wait a minute!
No, but for real. I've been sitting at this code way too long. If you want, you can download this library from my GitHub and build it your own. As you can see, when I press the hidden power button, it boots up and waits in this idle state with the yellow LED fading. When I activate the side switch, I can type in the code. Now the switch is deactivated and can't turn off the bomb anymore. When the timer runs out, it plays the exploding sound. To defuse it, you need to press the asterisk key for defusing without a kit, or the hashtag key to defuse with a kit. You also need to hold down the key as long as you're defusing. In my opinion, it looks absolutely amazing and could also be some product sold by Valve. When using an ESP32 instead of an Arduino and with some modifications to the code, it could also be used to interact with the CounterStrike game state integration. So when the bomb is planted in the game, this prop also activates. But that's enough for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you liked it. I'm going to meet my friends in the park now and show them what I built. Bye for now. Please don't take it actually with you outside. I'm pretty sure you will get arrested.